If you're a business, you rely on finance from your bank to keep you afloat. You're a good customer. You've never missed a repayment. You wouldn't expect the bank to pull the rug from underneath you and refuse to renew your loan. However, that's been the experience of a number of businesses, including one Queensland hotelier, according to a senator from New South Wales, John Williams. Last week in a Senate committee hearing, the senator spoke about the grievances of several Bankwest customers since the institution was taken over by the Commonwealth. Now, Senator John Williams has kindly agreed to come on this morning while being from New South Wales. He's able to tell the story of what happened to this Queensland hotelier. Senator West, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
I'm sorry, Senator Williams, I'm sorry. Tell the story of what happened to this Queensland hotelier and what happened to him. He was making all his repayments, all of them on time, as he should contractually.
Yeah, that's what he's informed me about, Steve. And Ken Brundell has a hotel at Millmerran. A finance broker and a hotel broker basically convinced him to buy a hotel at St George, which he did. He borrowed the money off Bankwest, a 3-year loan. He said, what happens after 3 years? And Bankwest said, we'd simply roll a loan over. Well, the 3 years came along and they didn't roll a loan over, Steve, and he informs me that he has never missed an interest payment, but the bank has a different attitude to that. And it's not only just out there, Steve, but the Nambucca Hotel at Maxville, Stephen Weller, never missed a payment, has paid his principal debt down by $200,000. Now his loan is not being rolled over, and I know of other businesses in Queensland as well, and I find this very concerning.
These are all businesses that were clients of the company, of the Bankwest, which has since been taken over by the Commonwealth Bank of Australia.
Exactly, that's the case. When HBOS Halifax Bank of Scotland went broke, Commonwealth Bank took over Bankwest here in Australia, bought it for $2.1 billion. And look, I get on very well with many of the banks. We handle bank issues, and I've got a great rapport with Commonwealth Bank, but with Bankwest we just don't seem to get anywhere, given Mr DeLuca said in our Senate inquiry that it was in the bank's interest to support viable, sustainable businesses during the period of genuine hardship, but I'm simply not seeing this.
So their statements to your committee is at odds with their actions with their customers.
Exactly. In my opinion, if you're paying your way, Steve, you're paying your interest every month and you haven't missed your interest payments or principal payments, interest and principal, then regardless of the value of your asset, which may have gone down because of the global financial crisis, which coincidentally was brought on by bad banking in the United States, then the bank should stick with you. And I've said that in my additional comments for the Senate committee hearing and report that we put out.
Now, why can't these Queensland businesses get financing from other banks?
Well, probably because the value of the asset has gone down. I've been seen as the loan-to-value ratio has gone up. In other words, the valuation of the hotel has gone down because of the global financial crisis. Perhaps the pub mightn't be turning over as much as it did. And that's certainly the situation in many hotels where the business goes down, the business goes up. But as I said, if they're paying their way, why pull a plug on them? And these people are living in limbo, Steve. They don't know what their future brings. It's a lot of pressure on their marriage, on their family, on their kids. And I just want to see Bankwest stick with their customers while ever they're paying their way.
Now, what have Bankwest said in reply to these allegations that were heard in the Senate committee hearings?
Well, Bankwest have said in the Senate committee their evidence that they would do everything they could to keep viable businesses going. But I know of ones that they're simply left in limbo, won't have their loans rolled over. One case of a business up in the Sunshine Coast that very decent people work hard. They've been affected by the flood. The Australian Banks Association said that they would stick with the people and help them out because of the flood and help them through the tough times. We just don't seem to be seeing that support there, and I question why. Why would you want to, as I said, pull a plug on businesses when they're paying their way?
Now, as I understand it, Senator Williams, there are numerous of these cases, in Queensland in particular, that were Bankwest customers that were meeting all of their contractual obligations financially, and all of them appear to be in the same boat. All of them had the rug pulled out from underneath them by Bankwest, now owned by Commonwealth.
That's a very common message coming to my office, Steve, hence why I pursued the bank inquiry, which we did focus a lot on Bankwest during that banking inquiry of the post-global financial crisis situation. And I can't understand it. I question why they would do this, and all I can do is perhaps try and keep the pressure on them to just simply say, stick with the people who are paying their way. Steve, I view a loan as a partnership. You go to a bank, you ask for a loan. They go through your books, your assets, your cash flow, and say, yeah, that's okay. The two of you are in it together. If things get tough, well, stick with those people who are paying their way, and that's my message. And we just don't seem to be getting it through. We don't seem to get much feedback from Bankwest at all to my office. My staff have basically given up on them. Yet with all the other banks, we have a good rapport and a good communication level, and we work through the issues.
Well, the Commonwealth Bank now owns Bankwest.
Yes.
What are they doing about it?
Well, I haven't discussed it with Commonwealth Bank, but when I did talk to one senior officer of the Commonwealth Bank 12 months ago and explained to him that Bankwest were doing this, he said to me, why would you sell someone up when they're paying their way? That was his response to my discussions with him in Sydney, and I haven't discussed it with him of recent months, I should say. But I just don't know why they're doing this and why they shouldn't communicate. I mean, we recommended from that Senate inquiry that a code of conduct for small business lending be established by the Australian Bankers Association, where they communicate, where they tell a client if they're going to change their loan facility, they give them the documents to explain why, and they also provide their clients with valuations that the clients have paid for, many things like this where we can simply see the support going out to small business.
My guest is New South Wales National Party Senator John Williams. He's on the Senate committee that looked into these matters. John Williams, do you know how many other cases there are like this here in Queensland?
I can name you, I don't want to name them, but I've got 1, 2, 3 I'm working with as far as Queensland goes now. Of course, these are investors in aged care facilities, tourist resorts, hotels. There are many, many cases of developments where people went in to develop land and property, and they found the same situation. It seems that after the takeover of Bankwest, it seemed to be hoteliers and developers were the ones that seemed to have the spotlight put on them and be in the most trouble on the eastern seaboard.
So do you accept the evidence given to you in the Senate committee by the head of the Commonwealth Bank or by Bankwest?
No, I think it's ironic. When Mr DeLuca said it was in the bank's interest to support viable, sustainable businesses during periods of genuine hardship, that is not the message I'm getting from people who phone my office and people I talk to at length give me details and emails on what has happened to them.
Senator Williams, thanks for your time.
Pleasure, Steve. Thank you.
Senator John Williams is New South Wales National Party Senator who took the benefit of parliamentary privilege last week to criticise some of Australia's major banks.